Good evening. This is Dr. M.L.N. Acharyalu, Professor, Department of ACE, St. Peter's Engineering College, Hyderabad. Today we are going to discuss about the helical antenna. So in this, the helical antenna is a form of a helix in which the conducting wire is wound in a helical shape and connected to the ground plate with a feeder line. So this is the main basic construction of the helical antenna, and it is the what we call the circumpolarization antenna, and it is used in the extraterrestrial communication, in which the satellite relays and the other communication applications. So here, basically, we used to take the helical antenna is just like a wire antenna. This is already that the wire antenna is a small loop and large loop antennas generally. What is a small loop antenna? Small loop antenna is what is the length of the small loop antenna is very less, which is equivalent to the 1 lambda, which is equivalent to the lambda by 10 to lambda by 50. If you will coming to the large loop antennas, the length of that antenna, the circumference, which is equivalent to the 1 lambda. But in the small loop antenna is a very short, that means the 0.1 lambda to 0.02 lambda, that is the length of that antenna. So in that the small loop antenna, lot of drawbacks is there, because it have the poor efficiency, because so the radiation resistance of the small loop antenna is very less, and the loss resistance is more. If you are coming to the point of antenna efficiency, the radiation resistance and loss resistance both will be very important, because the efficiency of the antenna is completely depends on the radiation resistance. So therefore, the antenna efficiency is very less due to the less radiating resistance of the loop antenna, because efficiency equivalent to the ratio of radiation resistance to the total resistance. That is, you say that the RR by RR plus RL. For example, you take the only 10 ohms of resistance is the radiation resistance, and you say that 50 ohms of resistance is the loss resistance. So you say, what is the efficiency of that antenna? Just you have to imagine that what formula we just discussed, that formula should be applied here. So 10 by 10 plus 50, that's equal to 10 by 60, which is equal to 1 by 6, which is near about 16.66%. That is the efficiency of the antenna, very poor. So therefore, it has some remedies. What is the remedy for this is, if you increase the length of the wire is equivalent to the 1 lambda, then the radiation resistance will be increases and gives the good efficiency. If the other point also will discuss. Now, what is the other way to increase the radiation resistance of the antenna? That is, the other way is the reactance part, I mean the ferrite material should be inserted in the wire inside. So the reactive part should be increases. So we'll get the maximum radiation resistance. So that is the two ways to increase the radiation resistance and increase the efficiency of the antenna for the small loop antennas. Overall, the small loop antenna we should not be used most of the time. We go for the only large loop antennas. So there is a large loop antennas, the circumference which is equivalent to the approximately or equivalent to the 1 lambda. So that is about the wire antenna. And similarly, the same basics should be applied here for the helical antenna. So here, but a helical antenna is operated for the very high frequency and ultra high frequency bands. So here it provides the circular polarization generally. If you will observe that here, what is the diagram we given here? Just to see that this is the inner conductor and outer conductor. Inner conductor is directly connected to the wire of the antenna, the main antenna, and the outer conductor is connected to the ground plane. So therefore, here inner conductor, the arrow mark is here. This is inner conductor. Outer conductor is connected to the ground plane. And here the wire is wounding with somewhat turns, you say that n number of turns will be there. So here it is indicated that the feed wire which will be connected to the inner conductor directly, and here the wounding with somewhat diameter and whatever the spacing between the elements, the length of the wire, the both will take into the account. The center to center, the spacing is S, and here this is the overall length, A is equal to NS. Because if we will connect n number of turns will be there, then the total length which will be equivalent to the A, which is equivalent to the N into S. The radiation pattern will come like this. This is the broader major lobe is along the axis and the minor lobes will be there. The FBR ratio is very, very high. So therefore, it gives the direct to beams. For example, used to take this, it consists of a helix of a thick copper wire or the tubing wound in the shape of a screw, right? So it is in conjunction with the flat metal plate called the ground plate. Here you observe that ground plate is the outer conductor connected. One of the helix is connected to the center conductor of the cable and the outer conductor connected to the ground plate as shown in above figure. Already you know that. So the image of helix which is seen, just how it is just like a spring, right? So therefore, the radiation of helical antenna completely depends on the diameter of the helix and the spacing between the turns and the pitch angle. These three parameters are very, very important here. So observe that from the diagram, we say that we consider this triangle. So L indicates the length of the wire 1 turn, you say that here, center to center like. And the spacing between the turns which is indicated by S, already know that. And the circumference which is equivalent to pi d. So therefore, we used to take this is the relation between pitch angle and the spacing between the elements and the diameter. And these three parameters will take into the account. So here the total length is equivalent to the C square plus S square, where S is the spacing, C is the circumference. So it is just like a wire which is just like a sphere. So therefore, the 2 pi r or pi d is the circumference. So therefore, C is equal to pi d. From this, L is equal to C square plus S square, right? And it is alpha indicated here. The alpha, tan alpha is equal to opposite side by adjacent side. So opposite side is S, adjacent side is C here. So therefore, tan alpha equal to S by C. So alpha is equal to tan inverse S by C. Okay, this is about the helix. Now we are going to talk about the whatever I told, the same thing is there here. It contains the helix of the thick copper wire or a wounding in the shape of a screw thread used as antenna in conjunction metal plate. Metal plate acts as a ground plane and the helix is fed by a coaxial cable. One end of helix connected to the inner conductor of the coaxial cable and the outer conductor connects to the ground plane as shown in above figure, already know that. So this is the mode of radiation depends on the diameter of the helix D and the turn spacing S. So already I told this. This is a feed wire lies in the plane through the helix axis in between A and B. Just to observe that here. B is here, A is here. So therefore, the feed wire which will be, this is a feed wire already given in arrow mark in diagram, that will lies in the A and B, right? So the length of feed wire is equivalent to the S by 2. What is the length of feed wire? Feed wire length which is equal to the half of the spacing between the turns. That is the length of the feed wire. So now, we'll coming to that right angle triangle, whatever I explained. According to that, the C is the circumference of the helix, which is equal to pi d, and the alpha is the pitch angle, which is equal to tan inverse S by d, S by pi d or S by C, whatever it may be, and where the small d is the diameter of the helix of a conductor, and d is the diameter of the helix, capital D, and A is the axial length, which is the total length of the antenna, which is equal to N into S, where N is the number of turns and S is the spacing between the turns, where L is the length of one turn, you say that. But A is the total number of turns length. So L spacing of helix from ground plane, the feed wire length for n turns, the total length of helix is equivalent to the ns, which is indicated there in A, axial length that is called. So now, what is the pitch angle? This is very important because the antenna operation is completely depends on the pitch angle. If the pitch angle comes to 0, then what it happens? If the pitch angle comes to 90 degrees, what it happens? The two conditions will take into the account. If we coming to this, the pitch angle alpha is related to the triangle. Already we observed that in the previous slides. So L is equal to S square plus C square, which is equal to S square plus pi d whole square. So therefore tan alpha is equal to S by C, then which is equal to S by pi d, and alpha equal to tan inverse of S by pi d, where S is the spacing between the turns and pi d is the circumference of the wire. So therefore basically this is the pitch angle. Pitch angle may be give the radiation patterns in a particular mode of operations. But generally n number of modes is available, but we used to take only 2 modes of operation for the helical antenna. One is the normal mode operation, which is operating for the perpendicular mode, that is the broadside mode of operation. If we coming to the second one, the axial mode operation, which is the inferior operation. So here we used to take first the normal mode of operation. So here in this mode of radiation pattern is the same as the broadside array, just now told, and the perpendicular to the axis of the helix, and the polarization is circular. This mode obtained when the dimension of the helix is less than the lambda. Already I told that generally the length of the helix in this mode of operation is very less, which is equivalent to the 0.1 lambda or like that. So therefore it is a small loop acting. So such small helix and the width narrow and the radiation efficiency is very low. Already I explained about the small loop and large loop antennas at the initial stage. So why the small loop antenna gives the radiation efficiency is very low? Because the loss resistance is more and the radiation resistance is very less. So therefore efficiency of the antenna is very less. So ultimately the same thing should be happened here. So therefore the normal mode operation of the helix have what is the efficiency is very low. So now this is the broadside array operation. So therefore if you observe that this is the helix axis, the perpendicular to that axis the radiation patterns will come. So this is a perpendicular to the axis or broadside array operation. So basically used to take if the pitch angle is equal to alpha, what happened? So basically the radiation pattern is a combination of small loop and the short dipole. The both will be considered. So here if we are coming to the pitch angle equal to 0, alpha equal to 0. So what has happened actually? Alpha is equal to tan inverse of S by C. So therefore tan alpha equal to S by C. So what is happened actually? Tan alpha, when alpha equal to 0 degrees, tan 0 equal to what? 0. Therefore 0 equal to C by pi d or S by pi d or S by C. So therefore S is equal to automatically 0. The spacing between the turns is 0. Then it acts as a small loop antenna, multiple turns at a time. That is a small loop antenna. So it acts as a loop antenna. Helix acts as a loop antenna. Loop diameter is equal to the helix diameter here. So therefore it acts as a loop antenna. And when alpha equal to 90 degrees, the pitch angle will be vary. So what happened here? So here pitch angle is 90 degrees, then tan 90 equal to infinity. Therefore the spacing between the turns is infinity, very large. So therefore helix space is equivalent to the length of the dipole. Then the radiation pattern will acting whatever the dipole we get, the same thing is happened here, short dipole. So therefore the radiation of the helix is a normal mode is the combination of dipole and the loop respectively, which will completely depends on the pitch angle. If the pitch angle is 0, it acts as a loop. If the pitch angle is 90 degrees, it acts as a short dipole. So this is about the normal mode operation. And the normal mode operation have drawback. What is that means? Efficiency is very, very less. Then we will coming to the axial mode of operation, right? So for the far field radiation of the small loop, which is indicated here, E phi is equal to 120 pi square into I into sin theta A by R lambda square, where A is the area of the loop, already know that, pi d square by 4. What is the d diameter? Very, very less. Generally you say that the pi d is the circumference. Pi d is the circumference, C. So pi d square by 4, that is the area. Far field of a short dipole is given by E theta equal to j60 pi into I into sin theta into S by R into lambda. So this is the field equations of the short dipole. If you are coming to the axial mode operation gives the maximum radiation comparative to the normal mode operation. So in a normal mode operation, already know that how it should be acting and what is the radiation pattern we got, which is the perpendicular radiation patterns will come, that is the broadside array. Now we are coming to the axial mode of, what is the axial ratio? We are coming to the axial ratio. What is the axial ratio? The ratio of the E theta component to the E phi component. Then we will get the axial ratio is equal to, by calculating all this, S lambda by 2 pi A, where A is the area of the loop, that is pi d square by 4. Then you will substitute here, and finally you will get the axial ratio is equal to 2s lambda by pi square into d square, right? So this is about the axial ratio. So now when axial ratios in a different values, like you say that AR equal to 0, what happened? Linear horizontal polarization will come. If the axial ratio is infinitive, then linear vertical polarization will get. If the axial ratio equal to 1, then it gives the circular polarization. So therefore, axial ratio equivalent to the 1, when it is possible, only 2s lambda equal to pi square d square, then the axial ratio comes to 1 and it gives the circular polarization. So S is equal to c square by 2 lambda, where c is the pi d, already know that. So this is the alpha equivalent to the tan inverse of c square by 2 lambda c. C and c gets cancelled, then you will get the tan inverse c by 2 lambda. This is the pitch angle. That means the completely depends on the pitch angle, depends on the circumference, the length of the wire, length of the antenna. So therefore, it acts like this in a operation of the normal mode. Now we will coming to this, the axial mode operation. So now this is the condition for the pitch angle to get the circular polarization. When AR equal to 1, then it gives the circular polarization. Only that condition, both will be equal. 2s lambda is equivalent to the pi square d square, then it gives the circular polarization. Now we are coming to this mode is a very limited use because of a low bandwidth and the radiation efficiency is very poor. So now we will come into the axial mode operation. What is the condition for the axial mode operation? The circumference, which is always less than, in between 3 lambda by 4 to the 4 lambda by 3. This is the condition for the length of the wire. That means approximately equivalent to the 1 or more than 1. So range spacing is about lambda by 4. What is the spacing? Previously spacing is very less. Now the spacing approximately 0.25 lambda. The pitch angle is usually 120 degrees, 12 degrees to 14 degrees. The pitch angle is always in between 12 to 14 degrees. It gives the maximum efficiency. So axial mode operation, which is the diagram is like this. 0.8 lambda, this is the ground plane, the coaxial cable, and here the spacing between the turns is lambda by 4, and here it is the s by 2, so therefore lambda by 8, the ground plane like this. This is the what we call the wire, whatever the diameter we will see this is the minimum lambda by 3. Then this is the actual what is the geometry of the axial mode operation. In axial mode of radiation, the radiation is in the end fire direction along the helical and the waves are circularly or near circularly polarized. You say that generally the radiation pattern is always, we say that helical antenna is a circular polarization. So left circular and right circular polarizations both will be there. If we will take a clockwise CW and the counterclockwise, and similarly counterclockwise is there. So therefore the both, what is the polarizations will be there? So counterclockwise or clockwise direction, right circular, left circular polarizations, right? The mode of operation obtained by raising the circumference of the order of wavelength lambda, and the spacing is equivalent to the lambda by 4 already given here. The radiation pattern is a broad and directional along the axial, along the axis, you say that. So the it will produces the very few minor lobes at the oblique angles. This is the axial mode of operation generally. So here the radiation pattern, you say that here the radiation pattern is along the axis, that is the end-fire operation here. This is the right-handed circular polarization waves generally, and of course it may be left-handed circular polarization waves also providing, depends on the pitch angles. Whether it is change the angles, then automatically it may change. This mode of operation is more practically used generally, and what are the advantages generally? So this is the design procedure. Okay, what is the design procedure of the important parameters will take into the account for designing a axial mode operation of a helical antenna. So here beam width, which is equivalent to the 52 by C under root over lambda cube by ns degrees. So here the beam width between the first nulls, that is the HPBW. So what happened, the first nulls, generally you say that twice the HPBW, but here more than that, that is a BWFN or FNBW, which is equal to 115 by C under root over lambda cube by ns degrees. The maximum directive gain, that is called the directivity or gain. Only one antenna have gain and directivity, both are same, that is the isotropic radiator. But here directivity is always greater than the gain of the antenna system, except that case only, isotropic radiator. So here the directive gain D is equivalent to the 15 n SC square by lambda cube, where n is the number of turns, S is the spacing between the turns, and the C is the circumference of the turns, and lambda is the wavelength. And finally you say that the axial ratio. What is the axial ratio? Axial ratio, already I told that the ratio of the E theta to the E phi components, then you will get the 1 plus 2 by n, where n is the number of turns. So this is about the axial mode operation of the helical antenna. What are the advantages of the helical antenna? It is easy to construct, that means a very simple design, and it gives the highest directivity and wider bandwidth also, and it can achieve the circular polarization perfectly, and it can be used for the HF, VHF and UHF bands for the different applications. And what are the drawbacks? The little bit limitations will be there. So generally antenna is very large, so therefore it requires more space, and efficiency decreases with the number of turns. That is a little bit drawback of this helical antenna. And you say that what are the applications? So now we will coming to the application part. So here this is the applicable for the a single helical antenna is used to transmit and receive VHF signals. VHF signals means very high frequency signals, which is in 30 to 300 megahertz of frequencies, right? So the frequently used for satellite and space probe communications also. This is one of the excellent applications of the helical antenna, and it is used in the telemetry links with the ballistic missiles and the satellite at the stations. Already know that in satellite we have the three user segment, space segment and the control segment. So therefore here the earth stations have user and control segments, both will be there. So in that we use helical antennas. and again which will also establish the communications between the moon and earth also, and it is a excellent application in the radio astronomy. So these all are the applications of the helical antennas. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. Thank you.